Welcome to our lovely future humans, our 5D collective. To those who are regulars, FYI, I use dopamine too, so when you hear me say yucky dopamine, what I'm saying is for those who don't have long-term ambition. Okay, so FYI. And if you're new, I like to let my community know whenever it is that I spot, I make mistakes. Sometimes I won't know. And with that, everything in this lovely human body and your human body and all of our 8 billion brothers and sisters actually has this beautiful thing called ventral alignment. And you have some new guides and some new resources for those who have not yet heard the good news. The 10-minute ventral pivot is a free mindset practice that you can use whenever it is you're looking to bring forth your abundance energy mode, which, by the way, actually is talked to you about in the regulated leader. So those who are actively supporting humanity to expand and yourself with personal growth and spiritual growth, or one or the other. The regulated leader gives you a lovely in-depth analysis, and it's not like a academic one. It's more of like layman's terms, like in plain English. The IPMB framework, the polyvagal theory, and even the link to this rebuttal that lovely Stephen Porges gave to a bunch of people who said that his theory is busted or something like that. So just remember, our scientists continue to do what they do best. I'm the pseudoscience woo lady, and I don't lie to you, but I will make mistakes. And that's the very important thing of authenticity and transparency, as well as just do it. Oh, your sovereign blueprint, that's the other guide. Become the owner of you. So once you're the sovereign self-leader, it's your emotions and your thoughts that you wield. So you'll know when you hear this. Neuroscience shows that people often mistake familiarity for truth. Now, that's actually a little bit vague, and wait for it. The more often a statement is repeated, the more believable it becomes. Words are for the left, though. You're not including my right, and I'm wondering, this means that your brain is surprisingly vulnerable to misinformation. Fazio and all 2015. So do you find that statement empowering in any way, the piece of information? I don't. I find it disempowering and vague, and also, by the way, it's missing a very important component. The familiarity is first and foremost how you feel about the world. So if you're not securely attached and you don't know how to self-regulate autonomously, that is not a good sentence to read, because now you have a number of second guessing of yourself kind of deal. Or anyways, so I want to add to this neuroscience and wellness. Your wellness is when you can anchor in ventral energy. You can use your sovereign blueprints to be the regulated leader of yourself, because your emotional mental volumes are wielded by you. It means you discern your own effective realism. That's Lisa Feldman Barrett's words, the effective realism, not the other stuff. Those were my words. And she points out to how we see the world the way we feel it, and in fact that the mind keeps account even if the body keeps a score. So when you meet those who do understand we're an embodied brain, it's yes, thanks Dr. Daniel Siegel for the IPMB framework, the PDP framework, and every single bit of the MUI stuff that I get to talk about. And so this is why, whether dopamine or not, the willpower comes from the prefrontal cortex, and actively I'm always on a high to unlock your higher human potential with you. So this is not true completely, because the nervous system seeking familiarity means, like Dr. Daniel Fox presented, people who think stability is intensity. They are seeking there's pull-push dynamic because they're insecure inside. So they're dysregulated, which, as Bessel van der Kolk points out, they won't notice when he's being interviewed. Okay, so we do notice. We ventrally align ourselves because that's how easy it is for us to use our human makeup, and we say to the entire room nothing because we know the right silence, and that's the regulated leader. So your team and your family and the people you're around, and if you're a mystic mentor, content creator, or podcast host, somebody like me who does what you do, you're going to know how to differentiate and link over and over and over again, so you don't call your brothers and sisters energy vampires or dark auras or evils or devils or demons. You actively say, excuse me, God's perfection is in every human being. They just might not want it, because not all people want to become their abundance energy mode. They get trained for this minimum energy mode. They like their survival mode, and they think that being badass means their defense mechanisms. So they use the yucky dopamine hit. And you hear me talking about it, what I'm saying is those who choose to bring forth their mediocre behavior. But we don't want to shame, blame, fault, or revenge, because that doesn't do anything for any of those who are actually mistaking familiarity for truth, which would be the 3D, 4D, talking about a good and evil in ways of ignorance. And that's why shame on those who want to say they're leaders, but they are fear-based leaders. That's why they create followers, which is why they don't empower. And so masculines, that means when people are using what I say, half a brain. So please remember, don't take what I share with you all about the embodied brain and the way Maria shares it as if it's like facts. I'm a yellow for a reason. And the green would be Dr. Daniel Siegel, Dr. Daniel Fox, Neil deGrasse, you know what I mean? So I'm just letting y'all know, I don't even need to say the whole disclaimer thing. I'm not a mental health professional. I'm a mystic mentor. I'm just not a charlatan. Just trying to, rip you off or whatever. And then there's a bunch of people who really, I don't even know how to begin or end these lovely words of mine. So let me leave it alone, because there's no point in trying to make the obvious obvious. The human makeup. You own the body because you own the brain, because you own the embodied brain. You wield your emotional mental volume, which is why you don't need a resilience program. You will want a capacity to be around those who are epistemically curious, disciplined, diligent, and having a good time with our A game. So we all do spot those who, being a leader does not mean dominating the situation. The Cains of the world, the insecure people who want to dominate a situation, and therefore the fear-based leaders. The real leaders empower people to do what they would not have imagined possible. Thank you, Sadhguru. So I'm paraphrasing and quoting. And so everybody likes to jump on board with conversations. We know that. Everybody enjoys learning from each other. Those who want to stand out from the crowd, if they're doing it effectively, then they're enlightening you, like Neil deGrasse does and Bill Nye. If, on the other hand, they're actually looking forward to being praised by you, well, you better bet that they're not really going to have you become independent per se, but they'd rather see you grovel at their feet and actually depend on them, which is not something fascinating. But Archangel Michael doesn't need to cut cords, because luckily we have the very, very equanimous, discerning, and loving, thank you God, that's what his frequency is, people out there, and myself included, who say, look, I may be a pseudoscience woo lady, but I do know what we're made of, because I embody not only the regulated leader, my sovereign blueprint, but everything that I talked to you about. And I'm an empowered person who has embodied self-leadership since I was a kid, because I'm Maria. That's called a differentiated self. So imagine that. That's my temperament, which is why I consistently have been a go-getter. And it's, hey, I got 24 hours. You don't have to join me. I'm going. That's how powerful, I've got the power, your higher human potential is with this ventral alignment thing. Meaning you're using the open-ended inquiry to just get curious. So when you meet twin flames, yes. So the first one is like, wow. The second one's like, wait. The third one's like, what? And then it's, okay, thank you, God, for keeping me away from people that I would have hurt their feelings for no other reason except for I thought they were actual badasses. Because, when you have ventral aligned people, they're badass. As they have soft skills. And they're emotionally involved, and they care about you. And that's all the emotionally mature, intelligent people. That's what our human species is made of. Oh, by the way, the flow state. The flow state is freaking amazing. Where's my notes? Hold on for it. Here we go. So when you have the flow state, because you're wielding your ventral energy, so you self-regulate because you can do it autonomously. Then you co-regulate a room independently. If they notice or not, doesn't matter. You don't have people who can siphon your energy, because that doesn't happen when you're differentiating and linking. It's called Mui. So your solo self and your relational self have a good time. And your 3-year-old who doesn't care, you just wave it like you just don't care. And even if you make mistakes, it's like, yeah, it happens. So that's why the journaling we have in one of the guides, yes, one of the 2 guides, I forget which one, there's specific journaling prompts for flexibility. And then we have our SMART framework: stable, mature, adaptive, rational, teachable. That one's really fun. Okay, so the aspect is that those who self-regulate, and then we use two sides, we're going to use our metastability. And that's because you put your left foot in and your right foot in and you shake it all about, because you're not afraid to be in the fetal position. Doesn't matter if you get treated right or not. You actively aren't like, oh my God, I'm so ashamed, I got sad, oh, I got really angry. Okay, so your feelings are good, you're gonna fuck it up, it's okay, people forgive. That's how it works when you're a functional inner child adult. And as for the conditions, well, we learn, like Michael Yapko points out, to negotiate, no, just to chit chat. And sometimes it might not be negotiable because you have people who are like, nope, sorry, I don't like you. You went against every one of my beliefs. You're a bad person. And that's why, as Terry Real points out, we'll be considered crooked by some people. So you just remember that if you're empowered, what happens is something called, where are you, Sadhguru? Wait for it. And I have not found it, but he has this: I have not given anyone the privilege to make me happy or unhappy, angry or miserable. So you're able to be empowered as yourself and to share life with people, which is why it's so fun to be in our flow state. So it pushes the brain to the edge of criticality. When you're ventrally aligned, when you're an embodied brain who gets to say we all love equally, so we're all feels, we get to continue expanding and knowing that we continue learning with our sciences and our spiritual ones. So check out PayHip, and we'll be back with more. Be yourself the smart way: stable, mature, adaptive, rational, teachable. Let's show humanity what we're made of. We're made of a bunch of love and a bunch of wit. That's really good wit, by the way. Oh, and as a clairvoyant and a channeler and downloader, and from the future, I have news for you. I'm going to be organizing our episodes for that lovely channeled guidance, food for thought, because it's time again. Archangel Michael's still with us, but he can't motivate you to be motivated to bring in your A game. But you can do it. You can self-regulate in any moment, and you can differentiate, link, and then in a whole room, have a good time being yourself and with others. Have a good one.